Welcome back to Australia for continuing coverage of the 2022 Australian Disc Golf Championships. It's Grant Zellner and Jennifer Allen from Queensland, Tunnel Ridge Ranch. The setting for today's back nine in the FPO division.
Yeah, this is a beautiful piece of property, a horse ranch, I believe, that they so kindly let us use to get our championships done. We have Cassie Sweetten. Now. Yeah, two strokes under. Sarah Lee at even. I am at 1 over, and Hussey was at 2 over. There are 6 of us playing in the FPO division.
And we are quickly to the action on the 10th.
Yeah, hole 10. This is 436 feet. First throw, actually, a lot of us kind of attacked this. I was kind of actually thinking of a different hole, but we're going to throw hyzer and down towards, there's an OB line all along the fence. There's a couple of these holes that are kind of placement shots now. The back nine opens up a little bit of length. And so we have to get under this branch, and first throw is going to go out straight towards that back wall. There's a little bit of an inside route you can try to take. It just brings in a few more of those trees. Cassie gets a nice crushing drive right there. Close to, there's a kind of like where water probably runs through if they get a lot of rain.
Come on, turn.
I need that to hurry and hyzer so I don't go too far into that OB area. I stopped short. I think
you did. Of course, you know you did. You were there. Here's Sarah Lee off the tee.
Sarah gets a great, beautiful straight drive that hyzers at the correct speed. This little roll in front of that tree. That branch really kind of plays some tricks on your mind. Hussey gets a little bit too much turn on that drive, so it makes her go right towards the OB line as well. We are both able to stay just short of it.
Hussey's second out into the open. We'll have a putt to save the par.
We were kind of a little nervous, not going to lie. The spotter marked them with flags, so we thought we were out. So it was a nice relief getting over there and finding we were both safe. Beautiful approach by Cassie. So you can see the flag there. That was just to mark it into the rough for us so we didn't have to look.
Soft safe up there. Now Hussey to save par.
And not having service over there in Australia, I didn't pay for that extra plan. I honestly didn't look at the caddy book too much. I didn't realize that OB line was even there. So learn as you go. Unfortunately, Sarah unable to get that putt to fall. Really got to attack this basket right at the pole. So that'll be a bogey 4 for Sarah. Cassie and I tapping out pars. Let's see with the par as well.
To a par 4, just our second par 4 of the day.
Yeah, this is a very tricky par 4. You're going to go downhill and around over that fence and then back up the hill. Quite a bit of OB on this hole that's scattered. There's an OB fence long there. We have an OB fence on the right, which that gate is attached to, and there's a little pond on the left. So a lot of the shots here are just trying to go hyzer up safely along that hill. Near the fence is great. Doesn't have to be. It can be short up on the hill to have a good, clean second shot. I thought I hit this absolutely perfectly because I was on the right side of that fence.
Look at that.
Unfortunately, I found the puddle OB pond. I'll post pictures to finding that disc later. We'll link it to this file, but that disc was found.
Wow.
Sarah gets a nice, beautiful flat drive. That's going to hopefully get a little skip towards the middle and be perfect. Little high, but that's going to be just fine. A little bit higher up on the hill. The only problem with being up on the hill too much is we kind of have to go down and then back up for the second shot.
Right.
So
you can see that there.
The approach shot on this was maybe a little bit harder than the first shot. So a little low on that release with the elevation change there, so she's not able to get all the way up to the basket. Cassie really in perfect position here. Unfortunately, a little early release, but she is still in great position for par. Quick
Here
shout
you
out to
are.
Ben and Josh for rescuing that disc back. It took them an hour, and I will say that pond is way cleaner than it's ever been now.
Pretty good up there,
Yep.
and a chance to save the par despite the penalty stroke for you.
That has a little bit of a back roll, but she's going to be a pin high.
Cassie's third. Nicely done.
Yeah, she has such a clean, soft approach. Like she's playing catch with the basket.
So here we go, a par saving opportunity. Got it.
Finally. Good save for Sarah as well.
Really took her time on that one.
Again, you really don't see it right here, but there's not too many of these baskets that don't have a strong roll away potential. So I think you'll find all of us really kind of taking that extra breath because anything can kind of happen on these baskets. Not the baskets are great. The land, you know how it,
Right,
if it
sure.
hits wrong and rolls.
Here we are at the 12th, the first par 5.
Very difficult hole, very tight off the tee. Everything right there on the right is out of bounds. There's a fence really close. You're going to try to land around there. Second shot around over the hill, and then we find the basket on another very steep angle. You can go long on that one pretty easily because the third shot, I guess I could say for us women, is kind of blind usually. So that is perfectly thrown for Cassie. That is right where she wants to land. Nice safe shot out of the chute here. Being a little aggressive, going with the destroyer. Trying to stay left of that fence. Comes out a little low and gets, this is some pretty thick grass. We've been playing on some pretty hard surfaces, but gets a little bit thicker and greener on the back side of this course. All of us hitting the gap though, and that's our number one goal off the tee here. You can see just how short that tee pad is. Come back in, come back in. And we're
Stays
good.
in.
Yeah. But I mean, she barely has room for, a 3-step X step there. So really short tee pads kind of adds in that little extra focus.
Sure.
And that is a great placement for the third.
I called this the first par 5. It is, in fact, the only par 5.
Yeah, and Cassie's in perfect placement to be aggressive here on that second drive. It is a full drive. I'll say it again. I love the variety of this course, though. You know, we really get a little bit of everything. Even there's quite a few trees. If you get to the right placement, there's a nice open shot to be aggressive. So I'm trying to get a little bit more on the left side so I can kind of see the basket for my third shot. I'll be close to seeing it from there.
Haven't seen many forehands so far today.
We're not a big forehand group.
That one up and to the top of the hill.
Need that to hyzer quickly. Unfortunately, it got caught up on that last little branch. I think if it wouldn't have hit the branch, it would have came back over the fence.
Another forehand.
Right? We do them when we have to, but might not be our preferred.
Favorable little roll, too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. What's going on?
Just the play with the angle of the hill. And look at me execute that, Grant.
I'm not going to say that's a first. I'm not going to say we're, spotting a unicorn here, but.
But it's close and we'll take it.
Yeah.
Hussey laying up as well.
Now Cassie.
Long bid for the birdie. Oh, so close. She is going to be okay. Yeah, she'll be okay with that tap in par.
There it is.
I typically only forehand my Yetis too, and I believe that was a Cayman approach, so pretty fun.
Either way, that's your first birdie of the championship.
Finally. Took me a little bit.
Get you back to even.
We'll claim jet lag. How about that?
That's a pretty safe claim.
Your rating is one of the most valuable things you get with a membership. It takes your performance in sanctioned events, compares it to the rest of the field, and gives you an empirical number to show how well you played. Rain, shine, wind is all taken into account, leaving only one thing, your play. This gives you accurate numbers to track how well you've been doing and your overall improvement in the game. Get your number today. Visit pdga.com/join.
On to the 13th.
A sharply downhill shot. Everything on the right side of that fence is out of bounds, as well as the volleyball court there on the left side. So yes, you see this correctly. I am throwing all out of bounds the entire way, trying to punch through that tree line. And I make it. A little long, actually. A little aggressive. But to me, it's the easier play. I feel like if I went the turnover route, I could continue. We had a little bit of a left to right crosswind. And so I seemed less likely, I felt like, to actually go out of bounds, throwing out of bounds the entire way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, indeed.
It makes so much sense that
so
Cassie follows me.
Yeah, it's so far downhill. The disc is going to break back to the left for such a long time.
Right. But I will say, if you grab any of those trees and you do not hit that opening, it will drop you straight out of bounds. And you're just reteeing, because we're
You're right.
We're almost routine out of bounds. Mm-hmm.
New strategy from Hussey here, going out to the left.
So that is how the hole is designed to be played. Gets caught up, but she is going to be there to approach for the par. That one comes out cleaner from Sarah.
And even that, though, was knifing toward the fence.
Right. So that was my thought, is I kind of feared that I could turn one over the fence a little easier.
Right.
Going on the left side. I will say Drew Gibson said I was absolutely dumb thinking that, but it worked for me. So I'm sticking with it. And he saw me go hyzer. He's like, "Are you kidding?" And then he saw Sarah follow me. He goes, "Are you both kidding?" But look, almost saved the birdie. That one felt so clean. Cassie just a little right. So tried to go back-to-back birdies, just a hair short again. All the putts seem to just be dropping just a hair short for me. Beautiful par save from Sarah.
Hussey with the same. Got ourselves a little star frame here on the 13th.
And I never made it in, but there's a nice little pool right here that you can see.
Yeah.
On hole number 14. That is OB as well as everything there on the right side, and there's a mando tree on the left. So elevation, lots of OB, another difficult hole on the 14th. This is a par 4. I felt very good about this drive. As you can see, well, I can't really see, but I had a crazy backwards kick, about 60 feet backwards into the pool. Cassie going the safe route over there on the left side.
You can see the mando there. She'll have to negotiate with her second.
Right. So for me, I felt like I could easily pass that mando, so it was safer for me to go the hyzer. That is nice out in the fairway for Huss. And Sarah follows out there as well. So good placement shots. They're right there short of the mando. So now they can approach the basket with a hyzer. Just a little short.
Once again, enough topography to cause an issue. We're going sort of a long, gentle uphill into the basket. So.
Right. I really loved the design. I think they did such a great job on placements, bringing in everything kind of naturally. That road behind is safe. I will tell you, I was a little nervous about that throw against the fence.
Wow, yeah, no kidding.
Let it go a little bit early, but I make it up there pin high. And the OBs are so natural, like you don't really notice, you know, the tree line being OB. So sometimes I think it was real easy to kind of forget about some of the OBs because they just naturally blended in. Didn't see any lines. That's a beautiful approach from Cassie. Hussey just going to lay this one up.
This for another par save.
Just a hair short. I really probably should have jump putted that, but with that OB just right behind the basket, maybe a little outside 15 feet. So
right.
OB comes up pretty quick on the other side of the basket here. And they're all open fences, barbed wire fences, so you can cross any of these OB lines really easily.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was mean. Good putt, little high right. Sometimes those will fall, sometimes they won't. Hussey gets hers to fall for the par. Cassie gonna tap out par as well. And I'm back above par.
Well, no problem. You've got a 522-foot par 3 headed your way.
Yeah, no problem, right? OB fence all along the right side. This is a very tricky tee as well. Downhill and then basket finishing uphill on pretty steep little hill. Cassie playing it safe away from that OB line, just playing this for a par. Again, we did have a little bit of a left to right that you can't really feel, so if you put any kind of turn on it, you can very easily go over the fence right here, which Hussey does, but she doesn't hit any branches, so she hyzers back safe perfectly.
Woo!
You really have to be aggressive to try to, even I would say, get an easy par on this hole. I think we had throughout the whole week a couple of really long birdie bids, but very difficult par 3.
Get it. Go.
Again, I thought I threw this drive really clean with that destroyer, and you are correct. You do not see that fall. It magically stays on that branch.
Wow. It's up there.
It was a very strange round for me.
They play the 2-meter rule in California still in some tournaments to this day. We're a little bit west of there.
So
was
we
there
are
a 2-meter
good.
rule? No, we're good.
There was-
Okay.
Yeah, no, there was not. Another good approach by Cassie. She'll be sitting there for par. I'm taking my shot directly under where it was up in that piece of wooden branch. Really wasn't much holding it up. It was really odd the way it was sitting there. And I will say Cassie got that down in one throw. So we were pretty amazed. She did a great job getting that down for me.
All right.
Hussey has a great forehand approach there on the top side of the basket. So a little bit of a dangerous putt. Sarah laying up as well. This was probably 25, I believe. I was pretty close to circle 1.
Oh.
Yeah. So like I said, I had a little bit of a weird round. Like I felt like I was throwing and putting everything as clean as I could and just wasn't getting the Australian love.
I'm really sorry you had to relive that one.
Yeah.
You did have to putt on a really steep hyzer angle.
It did. It was definitely going in hyzer. It felt like it wasn't too hard though. Like it,
Right.
I thought it was in perfectly.
Ooh, gets it over the edge, keeps balance. So Hussey with,
The par.
I believe, the lone par here on the card.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like a birdie on this hole for sure.
Check that, checking the stats. The lone par in the field here at the 15th.
Wow.
Yeah. Matter of fact, everyone else bogeyed. No double bogeys, no triple bogeys. Everyone else with a bogey. Hussey with a par.
It definitely plays as a par 4 for the women. I'm sure the guys were able to get a few birdies on it, but definitely a very difficult par 3. We're still looking at how this falls
having
out.
a little chat with the basket.
When the shots fire, my soul ladies, yeah. If I go down, I might cause a scene, yeah. Them scheme, them go to sleep, yeah. They don't wanna come war with me, yeah. Run, Ricky, run, run, Ricky, run. Run, Ricky, run, run, Ricky, run. Run, Ricky, run, run, Ricky, run.
Here we are at the 16th.
Another very difficult par 4. You want to get your drive safely around here. Placement shot back up to the basket. There is not out of bounds on this one, I don't believe. That there's a fence back there, but I think it's safe. There's enough trees and ditches and length to challenge us enough.
Plenty of problems.
So we're trying to get a nice straight shot out there to the dogleg turn of this hole. Again, you can see the step up on the tee, short tee. So it took us a little bit to kind of get used to our timing. And
Sure,
I
you
think
can see
this,
right there.
yeah, this tee was the worst for us the entire week. All of us really kind of released this shot low every round. So and the tees were nice and grippy. There was nothing wrong with the tees. They just unfortunately were not able to have the supply to make them much bigger.
Big snap on that one.
Yeah, I was a little angry, I think, still from the previous bit. So perfectly placed drive right there on the ridge line. Sarah gets a beautiful forehand around the corner. Again, we threw forehands when we had to.
Sure.
And
right
I think we executed them pretty well when we had to as well.
Hussey got a straight ahead look at it.
Yeah, this is a fun shot, a little downhill. Unfortunately, that hyzer's off a little too stable of a disc for her. She's going to be pinned high up on that left side. I think it was about 200 feet. I followed Hussey up there on the left. That was with a putter. I kind of always feel like they're not going to be that stable, but my Yeti putters are just so stable.
Sarah down below the basket.
We're getting there.
Now Cassie with her third.
Come join me, sister.
And we're making this approach look very difficult, and it really wasn't. But there, we finally got one by the basket. So just outside circle 1.
Oh, that came off at an angle.
Why would you ever think that, Grant?
I saw it go behind the tree, and I thought when it comes out the other side,
Yeah, it just caught the right edge of that basket. At least that one didn't roll back in my face. So had a little bit of a rough first round. That was not what I was anticipating. Yeah. But it is what it is. I was in Australia. It's okay, right?
Sure, right. Well, if it's 3 birdies in a row, that's a turkey. If it's 3 bogeys in a row, that's
a booger.
That's no fun.
Yeah, we'll call it a booger. There's some good height on a putter. Great par save for Sarah. And another one from Cassie. Beautiful long putts. You know, if I'm mad, that's going to come out of turbo.
Well, yeah. Just get into the basket.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, 3 bogeys in a row. Yikes! 17th. This is probably one of our shortest holes besides hole 1, 250 feet almost downhill. This is an island, but the island is not the grass. The island is the outside road.
Okay.
So you can,
can
land
slide,
on that.
Though.
You can. You see that white rope all along the edge there? So good angle. We kind of lost it. Yeah, just a little short, so she did not cross. She's
drop
playing
zone.
That. Yes, there is
Okay.
a drop zone behind the basket. It's a pretty difficult drop zone. Tester.
Really needs this to hang on. Oh, it does.
Yes.
Woo.
Yeah, that was a slow speed disc, so it didn't hyzer quite so much. You can see a little bit of a headwind. I'm playing Toro, so little skip, but hit the stump. So here's the drop zone. So technically, you know, you putt a little too hard. You can putt past OB.
Is this... Oh, please sit down before I comment. Okay, is this the first elevated basket?
I believe so.
And maybe the only one. We'll have to see 18, but...
Yeah, some of them felt elevated. And this one we didn't really consider too much elevated. That was really strong but safe. Very aggressive putt. She makes a huge comeback for par. Yeah, this one wasn't too high, but I do believe it is the only one that was not flat on the ground. And just that little bit of elevation, though, put that little bit of hesitation in Cassie's mind, I believe. And this looks pretty flat, but I mean, you saw a couple of rollaways. Like, it's still, the disc just, they roll out here. Maybe that's the below him.
Yeah, even the ground that looks flat by comparison is definitely not. And
Right.
it's sloped just enough that a disc catching edge is going to move.
Right.
This is a chance to get back on some of those recent strokes lost. There we go.
Yeah, that little bit of a wind. I just kind of was like, just throw it in and get over this.
Gallery got a good laugh there.
It's funny, I don't practice that turbo, so sometimes I question myself when I use it. Here's
On to the 18th.
18th. Yeah, very difficult 400-foot shot. You saw the Mando there on the left, so you wanted to first drive up and then second shot along this fence. Everything on the right side of the fence there towards the clubhouse is out of bounds. So first drive up toward the OB fence line, which I believe I hit and actually stayed in. So a little bit of love back at me.
All right. You've earned that today.
Yes, I did. I believe Hussey's is going to... Yeah, she hit the Mando tree and, you know, the new Mando rule. So we'll have to look and see if she crossed that line or not.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah playing a little bit safer along that right side, but makes for a little bit longer second shot. Cassie playing safe as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just want to get up towards the top of the hill so you get a little bit of a flatter shot. So Hussey's did not pass the Mando line, so she is just pitching up towards the Mando tree.
Right.
And I personally think this is a very difficult approach because, one, this can happen. You know, any kind of angle, you can see how steep and high.
Right. Get a little look at the treetops there.
Yeah, that this hole is. And then if you choose the forehand, you know, you can skip over that OB line as well. So pretty difficult. Asking for a lot of us to finish up this long round. Good finishing hard hole, I guess I should say.
It is a par 4, so there's, you know, some room to play with to try to pick up that birdie. But yeah, it's going to take a well-executed second.
Yeah, I think the second
pretty good
shot.
Angle.
Yeah, but this to me was kind of a scary approach because,
see.
one, I did not know that this fence right there was out of bounds. So
Okay.
also out of bounds back here. But throwing that long shot, it was about 200 feet or so, and keeping it perfectly flat and not turning over at all. It's just it's a really hard approach. But you don't want to put the hyzer line on it because you can hyzer right down that hill. So
Sure. So
OB fence.
OB fence, possibly barbed wire.
And I am trying to lay that up and not touch a thing.
Right.
Do not want to hit the basket. Pretty good bid. Again, like it's one of those shots like you want to kind of give it a run, but man, you better be committed because if you hit the
Right.
metal, we saw a lot of discs get up and I would say run, like literally run away. That's a good, strong putt to finish for Cassie. She had such a clean round, unfortunately finishing with a bogey and a double bogey in the last 4 holes. So pretty tight card here for all of us to finish up. We were kind of all over the place. Cassie gonna finish up 1 over par. I finished 2 over par. Sarah Lee 3 over par, and Hussey 5 over par.
Get a good quick look on how things ended up the way they did through round number 1, with obviously more coverage to come here at the 2022 Australian Disc Golf Championships. There's a look at the full field. Gina Hill and Toshi Frequin. My apologies if my accent doesn't match the appropriate accent for everybody's name in Australia. But we love getting to get this little peek into our beloved game of disc golf and how it's going down under. Back with more from Gatekeeper Media's YouTube channel and the PDGA's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.